All right, welcome back to the BFT channel. Today we're going to be working on the Berry bike. If you've noticed in some of our recent ride videos, we always use the Superlight and the T-Line, and that's because this bike simply can't keep up. Since it has the Tannus tires and also a weaker suspension block, it's simply not fast enough, and whoever's on the faster bike, they have to significantly go much slower. It's become quite noticeable that we never choose to ride this one. So today we're going to do a little small changes just to make it faster, and hopefully we can use this one. This one has the M-type handlebar, and we use this bike with the child seat. We hope to use this more in the video as well. All right, this bike currently weighs 25.8 pounds. Compared to my T-Line weighs about 15.5 pounds, so this is about 10 pounds heavier. So we would like to make the bike a little bit lighter. We're going to be switching the wheel sets, shifting system to the 2-speed. Hopefully that'll make it faster and lighter. Right now this system is the 3-speed Starmy Archer, and it has Tannus tires. It's really not something you want to do unless you have a much older Brompton where your parts are worn out and you have to change out the parts. If you have a newer Brompton, you're probably better off just selling this and getting the Brompton that you want, you know, a P-line. And the only reason I'm changing it is I'm recycling a lot of the parts that I already have for my Superlight onto this bike. All right. I'm working indoors today because it's very cold outside, and where I have my bike stand, it's basically below freezing. So we're actually inside today. So step one will be basically I'm going to take off the wheels and take off the old 3-speed system. All right, so this is the 2-speed wheel set from Brommieplus. I think it was about $450, very cheap. And for $450, you get a full set, including the cogs. These have been used on my other bikes, so right now they're currently set up with the Modification titanium sprockets. And also I put in tobolitos. These were also drilled for Schrader valves, so I have wheel savers in here just to be able to use the Presta valve. This way all my bikes are running Presta valves and I don't have to carry any Schrader tires. Also, these have Type Parts Workshop front axle skewer and Type Parts nuts as well. So these are exceptionally light. Let's go. All right, so we gotta take the brake cable out. This should pop out nice and easy. So we'll simply put the new one on. Once this will go here. There we go. All right, and that's that. We'll make it perfect later. Reset the brake a little bit. Okay, the front's good to go. All right, so the next step, I'm just gonna take the chain off, like so. And we'll be replacing the chain as well. I'm not sure what the chain length on this one is, but the 2-speed chain length is 102 links. All right. This chain is quite old as well, so there's no point in trying to save this one. Let's disconnect the Starmy Archer needle thing here. Okay, once I twist it, this comes off. Twist this out as well. Might as well do it now. And that comes right out. And that's part of the Starmy Archer 3-wheel hub. So we won't be needing that anymore. We won't be needing this anymore. We won't be needing this. I'm going to keep the 3-speed system intact with the wheels because you can't really cut out the Tannus tires without them, you know, without ruining them. So the Tannus tires are going to stay on the wheel set just in case in the future I need to use them. You never know. I also just saw online, I'm not sure if this is true, but For next year, the new, I guess the C line, they're not offering the Starmy Archer system anymore. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but if you know, please let me know. All right. Oh, I probably have to release the brake on this too. All right. All right, so this will wiggle out. Oh, that's heavy. Oh my God, this must weigh like half the weight. Now this bike can say it's a little bit difficult to do in the house, but it really is that cold that we have no choice but to do it inside. All right. Watch out, baby.
Okay,
So I put this axle nut on here, but I just realized that the Brommieplus tensioner has the nut built in. So I'm gonna take this off because we won't be needing it. Okay. So we'll put that on now since we're at this stage. Let me screw this off. This is the Brommieplus 2-speed tensioner, and this is the part that it's built in, so we won't be using that. Okay, and if you notice here, this is the H&H spring that I bought for it. It's an aftermarket spring. This is the original, and you'll notice when you compress it, you can see the difference. And what I noticed that this spring is quite a bit weaker than the original. So I actually don't like this one. I want this tensioner to be as tight as possible, so I won't be using this. And we'll stick with the original that came with the Brommieplus tensioner. Okay, so that simply goes in there. And there's a notch in here, so that'll go in there. And you simply turn it on like so until it goes on nice and tight, and then you stick this in and you tighten it. Okay, and if you're wondering if you can just simply use the tensioner from the Starmy Archer 3-speed, you can't, because if you look here, this is the Starmy Archer one, right? It has no movement, so it can't switch from gear to gear. It's stationary. And the 2-speed one, you see it moves because it's got to move in order for it to switch gears. All right, so that is something you definitely have to change out. Okay. All right, so I got the wheels on now, and we're gonna take the rest of the 3-speed shifter system off. Okay. Take out the 2 screws. These 2 screws holds the shifter onto the handlebar. And you'll notice on the 3-speed, it's on the right side. So when we put this 2-speed shifter on, we're going to be putting it on the left side, so it's the same as the Superlight. Okay, and that's it. Now we're going to move on to the back here where we disconnected this part. We're going to have to take the end cap here off, like so. And then the rest just slide out. Basically disassembling the system, like so. This part comes off. So now that that part's off, you simply pull the cable out, like so. And you're left with the shifter and the cable. You can wrap this up and put it in a bag, because, you know, it's working. There's no reason in just throwing it away. This might be a collector's item one day, you know. Starmy Archer's been making these systems for a long time, but you don't really find them on too many bikes anymore. And to get this off, I think I gotta turn this nut here by turning this. See how it's turning? Like so. And if you ever find a nut with these, you see these bumpy, they're called knurling. If you find knurling, it really means that it's meant to be hand tightened. All right, so you wouldn't want to force it. Okay, and that comes off. The remaining cable will simply just pull out, and that's it. It's a really nice, simple system as well. All right, so that's step one. We got all the old parts off. We got the wheels on, we got the tensioner on, and now we just simply have to put the 2-speed system onto the bike. So the 2-speed shifting system for the Brompton consists of 4 parts. and we got them here. The first part is called the brake lever left-hand 2-speed. Now, when you want the 2-speed shifter, it comes with the brake, and unfortunately, we won't be using this brake because it doesn't match the other brake lever. Next, we have the derailleur gear cable set, and this is for the M-type underbar shifter, and this was $18. Then we have the actual chain pusher and wing, and this was $25. And then the cable anchorage, the bottom part of the bike as well, and this was $12. So you're essentially looking at about $100 system right here, and that doesn't include the tensioner. So you would have to buy an original tensioner or an aftermarket tensioner to make this system work. At the end, you are going to need a new chain, and this is 102 links. Okay. When you buy a new chain, you should also degrease it and then put on the bike lube. It'll last longer, supposedly that way. Okay, and I did go ahead and remove the links. This was 116 links, and now it's at 102. This is the bike chain lube that I like to use. I like this better than the dry. This lasts much longer. Also, I'm going to be switching out the grips to the stock grips for now, and I'm going to order some of the SE silicone grips. I love those grips. Okay, but until those come, I'm going to be using these. The last part will be the super light suspension block that I'll be using until the Joseph Kosak 1-to-1 ratio 1 comes. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is the shifter and the brake. Looks like this, nice and black. So I'm going to unscrew this from the black one, since we're not going to be using the black one, and then we'll put it onto the bike itself. Okay. So let's continue on to the next part and put the chain pusher on. Okay, so this little piece will go up here, and this can go in here. Oop. Okay. Oh, let me see something. Oh, there's something in there. All right, so when they assembled this bike, they left a little screw in there, I guess to protect the threads, I'm going to guess. But we got to get that out first. All right, so now we can go back. Like so. All right, so this is called the chain pusher, and it simply pushes the wheel here back and forth, and that's what's going to change the gears from 1 to 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so the next step would be this, the cable anchorage part. All right, and that should snap in. Okay, and this system here, you'll notice that it has the spring here, and it actually has a wire here. So the wire's got to go through onto this side, and then you have to attach it to this thing. It slides in there, and then you lock it in. This part's a little tricky, so if you had a second set of hands, it would be a little bit helpful. it's sticking out too much. All right, so then this part should slide. We're going to connect this part with this screw here. We're going to stick it into the chain pusher and it's going to come out and attach it. And that's what's going to connect these two together. Now this part, it's very important that you read the instructions, because I've done this about a dozen times and I never read the instructions. I realized that I was doing it wrong, and you know, it wasn't shifting correctly, and it was simply because you tighten this all the way down and you actually have to back it out about a turn and a half, I believe. Okay, so now that's tight. I'm going to back it out about a full turn and we should be good for now. Now we can route the cable. 2 pieces. Okay, so this part you're just basically following the brake cable and you'll be all right. And you'll end up all the way over here like this. Okay, so then you need the last 2 plastic pieces. Okay, and this has a clip, so this will clip onto this frame like so, and simply feed it through here. Okay, and then the last part, you have this stand piece, I guess, and then it goes in there like so. And for this part, you're gonna wanna, you see how you push this part here, the chain pusher? It pushes this piece out, and then you're gonna shove the cable into it. But first I gotta unscrew this. Okay. Open that up. This way the wire can get through. Now this part, there is tension on it, so I'll use a needle nose plier to grab it very softly. And then I can use this, stick it in. Okay. Let go. All right. I'm just doing it 1, 2, 3. You can see how nice it pushes. Okay. And if this is still loose, I'll go back and add more tension. I'll pull the wire more. But for now, this should be all right here. All right. So now the 3-speed Starmy Archer system comes with a 50-tooth chainring, and we're going to change it to the 54. This way it's equal to the Superlight. So as you can see, if you do this upgrade, all the parts do add up and it does become quite expensive. So you really do have to think about it, if it's worth it to you or not worth it. That can come out like so, and you can see the size difference between 4 teeth. It's quite a big difference. All right, so now we'll simply put this on. And the next step would be to put on the chain. Put the chain on through the back first. since we changed the rims, you do have to make brake pad adjustments because this one's rubbing. So I'm just gonna simply slide it down a little bit. So we're almost done. We just gotta do the suspension block. These Brommieplus wheel sets are cheap, lightweight. They come complete. I highly recommend them. They're a good brand. These are also built on the Hubsmith hubs, so they do make that nice sound that I like. All right, so the last step is just simply unscrewing this and we'll change out the block. And this should come out. Okay. So I'm just gonna use this socket here, put it upside down like this. We're just gonna bang it out. Okay, and then this slides off. Gotta reuse the black part here and the bolt from this one. You put it on there, and this one has to go here, and we'll simply bang it back on. And we're good to go. Right, and there you go, nice and simple. All right, so let's get the weight and then we're done. All right, 23.4. That might not seem like a lot, but on a bike, it's actually quite a bit of weight, and especially that the weight is from the wheels. We'll do a little bit of testing in the next few weeks, but I'm pretty sure this will be much faster. All right, so overall, the process to change it from a 3-speed to a 2-speed, it should take you about 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and it's really not too hard to do. You just gotta take your time. But like I said, to gather all the parts that you would need to do this conversion, it is quite expensive, and you really do have to think about if it's worth it, or if it's worth it to just simply sell this bike and upgrade your bike instead. All right, so if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. All right.